And the second administrative announcement is when we do a vote, I'm going to go ahead and I'll do a roll call. So I'll just start from the top of the list I have here. So that way it'll be, I'll say Mike, and then Mike can go ahead and give us, but that way it just makes it a little bit easier for all of us.
Yeah.
Great. No, all right. So good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is 6 p.m. I'd like to, we do have a quorum of commissioners present. So I'd like to call to order the regular session of the City of Leavenworth Planning Commission for 6 April 2020. And I appreciate everybody attending at least, or via spirit, if not in person tonight. So I think everyone has had an opportunity to review the minutes from our March meeting. Does anybody have any comments or questions about the March minutes?
I do not. This is Sherry.
All right. Well, in that case, I guess if there are no questions or concerns about the March minutes, I will entertain a motion to accept the minutes.
This is Claude Guidara. I make the motion those minutes be accepted.
Thank you.
It's Chris Murphy. I second.
Yeah.
All right. So we have a motion, and it's been seconded. We'll go ahead and do the roll call. So, Claude, do you, all in favor say yes. Claude?
Yes.
Sherry?
Yes.
Jay?
Yes.
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Linda?
Yes.
Thank you very much. The minutes are approved as written. Great. Let's move on to our new business. And so we've got 4 items to talk about this evening. So what we'll do is we'll begin with the first one, which is 202005 SUB, which is West Glen Third Plat, preliminary plat. And this is to consider a preliminary plat for the West Glen Third Plat subdivision. I would ask for the staff comments.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. As you said, this is for the West Glen Third Plat, preliminary plat. And just to kind of keep things a little bit clean, I'm going to just combine this in my discussion with the next item. The next item is the final plat for this same property. The plats are overall the same number of lots, same layout. It's the same thing. We just have to do the preliminary and final. Those are running concurrently, and we just have to do the preliminary and final since new right-of-way and easements are being dedicated, so we are required to do the preliminary and final. So just a brief description of this. This property is owned by JMK Partners. The plats were done by Napier Engineering. And this is requesting approval of a 4-lot preliminary and final plat for the West Glen residential development. It's currently vacant and zoned PUD, planned unit development, and the rezoning was put in place with the anticipation of developing this as a duplex townhome type development. That rezoning was put in place in 2017 and approved by the Planning Commission at that time, or I'm sorry, in 2018. So the property is 2.32 acres in size. It's just to the east of 20th Street and to the south of New Lawrence Road. It was originally platted as a tract as part of the overall West Glen subdivision. So this particular, the third plat here includes a total of 4 lots. Each lot will be developed with a townhome consisting of 2 units for a total of 8 residential units. There is an included right-of-way for a cul-de-sac and associated utility easements in this. And there's also a Tract A, which is shown, which will be used for landscaping and monument signage. So if you have any questions, I can answer those. I'm not sure if the applicant has jumped on. I don't see, but I can answer any questions that you might have.
So any questions for staff, please?
Claude Guidara here. So this issue with West Glen where when they developed it was 50 maintenance provided homes and 50 traditional homes. And these 4 lots with the residential townhomes, was that part of the initial plan for this when we started with West Glen? Was that part of it included?
Yeah, I think this was part of the initial thought of the development. I'm not sure when they platted the rest of it that they had completely thought through or figured out exactly what type of product was going to be needed. But I do believe that part of the plan from the beginning had been to put some sort of multifamily development on this particular lot.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Julie, this is John.
Yeah.
I had a question. Did city engineering have any concerns with the close proximity of the access drive to the church access across the street, that intersection?
Yep, that had been discussed. There is an inlet that they're having to work around there, and so that's part of the reason for that location. But yeah, that had been discussed with Public Works, and they're overall comfortable with the location, just given the low volume of traffic that's going to be using it. It's just going to be for those 8 units. It's not a through street or anything like that. So ideally, we'd have that lineup. But there, like I said, there's some utilities there that they have to work around, and so Public Works is okay with it where it is.
Okay, and second question is the general feel of this subdivision going to be similar to that located at 20th and Toganoxie Road there on the northeast side, that little community?
I believe in general, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Any other commissioners have any questions?
Should we just read the next one as well and then vote on as one, or should we need to vote on them as independent?
Yeah, so what I would do, Mr. Commissioner, is call for a vote on this item, the preliminary plat, and then we'll have to have a separate vote for the final plat, and we can just do those back to back.
All right, thank you very much. So I'll entertain a motion to either approve the preliminary plat, deny the preliminary plat, or table the issue for additional information or consideration with regards to 202005 SUB.
This is Claude Widar. I'd make the motion then that we have an approval for the 2020-05 sub West Glen third plat, preliminary plat, be approved.
Thank you, sir. Second?
It's Chris Murphy. I second.
Thank you. It's been a motion is now and seconded. We'll go ahead and do a roll call. Again, all in favor, so just say yes or no. Claude?
Yes.
Sherry?
Yes.
Jay?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
John?
Yes?
Linda?
No.
All right. Linda, do you have any questions or concerns?
I have concerns about the exit of West Glen Circle onto 20th Street. It should be going into the West Glen Plat to the north street that's platted there. What else was it? Also, it doesn't indicate if there's any sidewalks on here, so I'm concerned about that.
So you're concerned that it's not connecting to the overall subdivision?
Did I miss it somewhere there?
No. Are you saying that the street should be connected into New Lawrence Road, or?
The Circle Street, I believe they're calling it West Glen Circle there.
Uh-huh.
On maybe the final plat. It's not, doesn't appear to be labeled on the preliminary plat. It shouldn't be coming out on a 20th, a local arterial street.
And where were you suggesting that connects to?
I'm sorry, what was that again?
So the street that, the right of way that's being platted, you are not wanting it to come off of 20th Street, is that correct?
Yeah, anyway, that's just, I feel like the access should be not off of 20th Street, should come off of, the platted road that's to the north,
Off
Of the,
of New Lawrence Road?
on the north side of that subdivision.
I think he's talking about coming out of West Glen.
Because the only platted road to the north of that is New Lawrence Road. Is that where you're talking about?
If you look at the, what do you call it, the street map, the
Satellite.
terrain map on the, that shows the line, streets and flats on there, so that area has been platted, even though the street hasn't been built. It's still
No, that's,
considered an
I
existing
think, are you
street
talking about
as it's
directly to
platted.
the north of this plat?
I'm sorry, I guess I'm just not understanding. Maybe we should just go on.
Okay, if you're talking about directly to the north of that, just so I'm clear, that's a tract, that's not platted right of way, that's tract C as part of the West Glen plat. But I think, did we get through the roll call vote on everybody here? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was 5 to,
Yeah,
Yeah, I voted yes, so
okay,
6-1.
6 to 1, okay.
I see.
Okay, so we can,
Thank you, Linda. We've taken down your comments, so
Yeah.
we'll sit down, we'll talk about it afterwards when we get a chance.
yeah.
All right, item number 2, 202006 sub West Glen, third plat, final plat. Staff report, please.
Okay, so again, this is the same final plat as the preliminary plat that we just took a look at. So again, this is 4 lots for the West Glen third plat, the associated right-of-way, and the tract A, which will be landscaping, and the subdivision monument signage. There will be a 2-unit townhome built on each lot, so a total of 8 units. And again, if there's any other questions, I can answer those for you.
All right, questions from the commissioners or comments?
Well, again, Claude, the only thing was, I remember our discussions a few years ago with Eisenhower where it is, with 20th Street where it is, with the Open Door Church where it is, the access to the Open Door Church that goes in there, and the need for entrance to there. I remember the discussion on that. Well, we didn't think it was in conflict with that, but we knew this was West Glen with the plan with the 50 homes, maintenance provided the other 50, and this was an integral part of that. That what I call the third phase of, if I'm saying this correctly, on that. So I don't think that there's any conflict with that, with the type of these 3 different houses, home ownership, the HOA thing, the traditional homes, and this what we're talking about, these residential townhouses. That was, now that I'm thinking about it, that was part of the plan when this was developed. Even though some people think, well, maybe it's not in harmony, it doesn't fit well there. You know, I don't think that's our issue here as commissioners to say, you know, with HOH homes or traditional homes, this maybe shouldn't be there, it should be somewhere else. I don't think that's the issue. I think it's part of the plan, and it has access to it, so I don't see any great conflict with that, in my opinion.
Thank you.
Okay.
Other concerns? Other than the sidewalks, which we'll double check on, and then the concern about entrance or how the entrance into the subdivision. If there are no other questions or concerns, I'll accept the motion to accept this final plat.
Mike, this is John. I do have one question that I forgot to ask on the other one.
Sure, send it.
Julie, is this going to be a private area or is this going to be public? Meaning, is that street and potential sidewalk going to be private or is it going to be a public access?
That's going to be public right away.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone with a motion, please?
Yeah, I just did want to point out, so I want to double check this. There is a 6-foot sidewalk shown around the north and east side of that cul-de-sac on there. It's a little hard to see with all the lines.
I'll go ahead and plug. We are making a motion on 2020-06 sub West Glen third plat, final plat. That we recommend approval for that.
Thank you. Second?
This is Sherry Whitson, and I'll second it.
All right, thank you very much. Roll call. Claude, yes or no?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. Sherry?
Yes.
Thank you. Jay?
Yes.
Thank you. Chris?
Yes.
Thank you. John?
Yes.
Thank you. Linda?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. I vote yes as well. So it's we'll have passed that. Great. Item number 3, 202007 SUB Moonlight Lake preliminary plat. That's considered a preliminary plat for the Moonlight Lake subdivision. Staff report, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Again, as on the last one, this is a preliminary and final plat for the same development running concurrently. So I'll just have the same comments for each one, and then we can take a separate vote for each of them after we finish the discussion. So this is a request for a 9-lot subdivision to be developed at the property addressed as 4500 New Lawrence Road. It's situated between New Lawrence and 20th Street, just to the north, a little bit of the previous items that we were discussing. So the property is about 45.5 acres right now. With the 9 lots, there's an average lot size of 5.1 acres. 3 of those proposed lots will be accessed off of 20th Street. There are 2 existing curb cuts on 20th Street. The city is not going to allow any new curb cuts, so 2 of those lots, lots 2, 3, and 4 that are off of 20th Street, 2 of those will share a driveway, so it'll be just those 2 existing curb cuts over there. The other 6 lots, lots 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, and lot 1 are all accessed off of New Lawrence Road. So again, the average lot size is 5.1 acres. A couple of those lots are substantially bigger. This was reviewed at the March 5th Development Review Committee meeting. There were a few issues identified at that time. All of those items are kind of standard items that we would expect to be addressed at the time of development of these lots. The applicant has sent in quite a bit of information that was requested by our Public Works Department, and so a lot of those items have already been satisfied. So again, this is the preliminary and final plat for this subdivision, and I know that the applicant is on this meeting as well, so if you have any questions, I can answer those, or the applicant could answer those.
Let's start with any questions for staff.
Claude Weeder, I guess I might have missed it, but is this with the set up those 9 lots? Is that a homeowner association or is that public access?
There's no right-of-way new right-of-way proposed as part of this. There's no new roads, and so I'm not sure. Mr. Lazinski could maybe comment, but I'm not sure if he plans to set up an HOA for that. But there's no common.
Okay, so
there's no common public area or tracks or right-of-way or anything as part of this development.
So then the level work then would service the roads and snow removal, and that'd be regular route, what I call routine then?
Yes, yeah, there's no new roads proposed as part of this. Mm-hmm.
Got it, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So, Julie, this is John. Another question. I would like to know if that lake area is going to be set up as an HOA or is each individual owner going to be in charge? Because if I'm one of those owners and I want to put in irrigation to feed off that lake and drain it dry, if I own it, that's my choice, right? If there's no HOA.
Yeah, I'm going to let Mr. Lazinski jump on and comment on that. I know that there's been quite a bit of discussion between the owner, Mr. Lazinski, and our Public Works Department about that lake and how that'll be handled. I'll let him comment on that. Lance, if you guys want to comment on how that lake's going to be handled.
This is Lance Lazinski. That we'll have in our homeowners associate with our homeowners covenants that what the lake is to be used for and not to be used for. You would not be able to use irrigation out of it. It's more just for looking at that lake. So that we'll have it spelled out and where those are all recorded with the lots.
Okay, John, did that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Other questions for staff or
Thank you.
Other comments or questions?
I have some comments.
Thank you. Go ahead.
This is Linda. That's probably about the worst subdivision design I think I've ever seen. You've got piano key lots, you've got flag lots, you've got lots exiting on the road. This site would be an excellent opportunity for the use of a conservation subdivision where most of the property is kept for private purposes and held in common by all the lot owners. The area up, I can't tell just which way this subdivision is situated. The area in the southeast would be an excellent location for a central drive with lots coming off of that central drive area and the rest of the property, including the lake, being left in a conservation for the lot owners. As it is, you've got the pond separated and divided over 8 different lots. So in order to get anything done on that lot, on that property on the pond, maintaining it, you're going to have to address that by 8 different people. And the plat will need to have some kind of an easement notice that will address the maintenance issues for that pond. Several different ownerships. There's a lot of problems with this. The steep slopes, I know, are difficult to work with, but this is just really not a good way to divide this property.
Feedback from the
I guess,
applicant?
Claude Vidar, Claude Vidar, I guess my question is, since I live close by there and have driven by there and looked at the area and the issues brought up about the lake, about the 9 lots and everything else there with the builder, I'd like to maybe him make a comment that he's already looked at the lake when people are deeded property to their lake, who has access. Does everyone have some equal access to that lake, or containment, control, or just certainly he's looked at that water and knows that he can control it. Any comments on that from our builder, please?
Yeah, this is Lance Lazinski. We looked at that where everybody's the lots go back up to it, that's going to be sharing the lake. So in our covenants, where we put in our homeowners restrictions, you would maintain up to the part of the lake that's yours. There can't be a whole lot of maintenance to it. I mean, so that's why we set it up that way. We're going to have it, when we build the houses, we'll have all the edges groomed and cleaned up. So I don't see an issue with that, and the water level is going to stay the same that it is. We're not changing any of the water levels. The houses will all be uphill, so the houses could never encounter any water from them. I looked at it, and we don't see any issues with it. And then with our surveyors and our land planners, as we talked and discussed it, so we thought that was the best way. And we also left a lot of trees there, and we made, on the bigger lots, we made trails, because we wanted to keep, the whole theme of the subdivision is to keep a lot of the trees, or 80% of them, where we can enjoy the big tall trees and have the nature out there. So that's the whole plan of our whole area.
Again, sir, I have seen the area. It's a beautiful area. If you don't mind, where does that water come from where you can maintain that water level? Where does that water come from? Or
it drains naturally from the south, and there's also a storm sewer off of 20th Street that dumps into the upstream of runoff that dumps into the pond.
thank you.
Mr. Lozinski, this is John Karish. In regards to the dam for that pond, is the burden for maintaining that going to be placed on the owners of Lot 2 and 9, or is that also part of the HOA agreement with the other lot owners?
In the covenants that will be recorded, it states that the dam is maintained by who owns the land that the dam is on.
I'm sorry, who is this?
Sorry, that's Justin Lozinski.
speaking?
Justin Lozinski.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Linda, have we answered your concerns? All right, any other questions or considerations or questions for the, or concerns? Well, we have three options. We can approve the, we can approve the.
Mike, I'm sorry, this is John. I have one more question.
Please, send it.
I apologize.
No, that's all right.
Julie, when should this move forward and go to development, are the lot owners along Lawrence Street required to put in sidewalks?
Their Public Works has worked out there's some improvements that are required along New Lawrence there. And Lance, I don't think sidewalks were part of that. You can correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, Public Works has worked with them for some improvements there along 20th Street. And let me get up to here on the aerial. Hopefully everybody can see my screen if it catches up. Yeah, there's not currently sidewalks along there. And so I don't believe Public Works was requiring them to put in sidewalks on that stretch. Is that correct, Lance?
Yeah, that's correct. The only thing that Public Works required was somewhat of a shoulder for walkers that are walking on New Lawrence already, and greater visibility for the driveways pulling out onto New Lawrence, which is is what Public Works required, and that's what we're planning on doing.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so we've got three actions, or we've got actions or options. If you look at it, we can either approve the preliminary plat, we could deny the preliminary plat, or we could table the issue for additional information or consideration. I am open to accepting a motion one way or the other.
May I ask one more question, please?
Of course.
Julie, didn't you say this dam isn't permitted by the state?
The dam?
Is the dam for the lake? Has it been state permitted?
It's not regulated by the state. Public Works looked into that pretty extensively, and the size of the lake and the dam is such that it's not regulated by the state.
Okay. I'm just concerned because it appears that there's quite a few trees that are and that's going to compromise the dam. I just am really concerned about this small lake pond. It's going to cause a lot of problems.
Okay, yeah, like I said, our Public Works had looked into it quite a bit with the state, and it's a small enough lake and dam that it's not regulated by any state requirements or regulations.
Because we're going to have to trust that the developers and the homeowners will take care of the lake and the dam, since it's in their own best interest, I think.
Yes, a lake of this size is, purely under the jurisdiction of private ownership.
Right. Okay. Other questions, concerns? If not, still looking for a motion.
This is Jay. I've got a question for staff. So, does the based from what we've been talking about here, is the city concerned, or would it be concerned, one way or the other, if that dam was not maintained and basically the lake just dried up?
I don't think so. I mean, the city really doesn't have any jurisdiction over it either. And again, since lakes of this size are just within the purview of private ownership, it would be up to private owners if they wanted to maintain a dam in a way that a lake would dry up. Our Public Works Department didn't have any comments to that effect. I can tell you that.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Other thoughts or concerns? If not, I'll entertain a motion one way or the other.
Well, this is Claude Weeder. I don't hear anyone speaking up yet, but I don't just talk about it before I make the motion again. I'm debating here because of what we're talking about, what we're saying about the dam ownership, covenants, who has a more vested interest in that dam or the lake than other people. If you buy that lot, some people are going to have more vested interest than others. But at the same time, you're going to know that if you buy that lot, as he's indicated on that one. So it's like, I think issues there with access with New Lawrence Road or 20th Street have been addressed. I'm not certain, in my opinion, if we table this, what I would be looking for, asking for. So with that in mind, even though I'm hearing some comments on this, I'll go ahead and make another motion on 2020-07 sub Moonlight Lake preliminary plot that it be approved.
Thank you. Approved. Second.
This is Jay. I second.
Thank you. Roll call. Claude, yes or no?
Yes.
Sherry?
Yes.
Jay?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Linda?
No.
Thank you. I will vote yes. All right. Motion is passed. We look at the number 4 on our itinerary is the final plat for the same thing we just talked about.
Yep, so if there's any more questions, we can go over those, or you can just move on to a motion for this, since it is the same development.
I guess I do have a question for for our developers then. So, and I haven't been a member of a homeowners association in about 40 years. So my assumption would be then is that as people are buying into your property, that all of this that we're talking about with regards to the lake level water and the dam itself, that will be fully explained to them so that individuals who are going to buy that particular lot that may have that issue will know ahead of time what they're getting into. Would that be a correct assumption?
That's correct.
I guess my next question is, have you done this before in the past? And if you have, has there been an issue, or are you aware of any other issues in the past with a similar situation?
We're not aware of any other issues. This is our first way to divide a lake like this on a project, but the type of homes and the cost of that the homes are going to be, we don't foresee anyone spending that amount of money and then neglecting the lake, neglecting their investment, if that makes sense.
Right, thank you. Again, any other questions or concerns from the commissioners?
No, Claude, we are a comment with me since I live close by the area that with the development again of Moonlight and looking at the West Glen or the development of the 50 traditional homes very close to that, probably less than a quarter of a mile, and with the West Glen HOA and 20th Street, everything in that area, I consider that those 9 homes and 5-acre lots to be very much in harmony. It's not like it's not in harmony with what's around it. It's in greater value than what's around it. Like you press on that, the cost of lots, the cost of those homes, so 5-acre lots. It's a great tax advantage for the city. It fits in with what's in the surrounding area. So I think that we've addressed the issue of the dam and the water there. So I think it's a win-win for the city with continued development in that area.
Thank you. So we have the same 3 options with regards to the vote: accept, deny, or table it for further discussion. I will accept a motion.
Okay, here again, let me go plug there again to make this complete. So I get 4 for 4 tonight. Is that I make a motion on 2020 OX Moonlight Lake final plat be accepted.
Thank you. Second.
I'll second it. This is Sherry.
Thank you. Claude, yes or no?
Yes.
Sherry?
Yes.
Jay?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Linda?
No.
All right, and I'll vote yes. All right, thank you very much. I appreciate everyone's effort and time and discussion on this one. Does anybody have any additional business, commissioners, or thoughts or questions of staff?
This is John. I'd just like to comment that this is my last Planning Commission meeting, and that it's been an honor to serve with everyone, and I appreciate everybody's perspective and professionalism and straightforwardness on everything that we've dealt with as a team. And I wish you all well as you move forward.
And we certainly thank you
Likewise,
for your time.
All the best. You'll be missed.
So, John, you didn't get the word that with the pandemic you can't leave? Everybody's got to stay for another 6 months?
It's all frozen.
Well, we keep doing these meetings like this. It might be all right. I don't know.
Yeah. No reservations.
Yeah, you can just call in, just for fun.
Yeah.
I would like to, I was going to thank you, John, for your service to both the commission and the city. Was it 9 years that you served on the commission?
I think it's 11, but who's counting?
Wow,
Yeah,
even
it's
more.
been quite a while.
Well, but again, I thank you for your assistance. Thoughts about a meeting in May?
Right now, the only applications we have are for items that require a public hearing, and we are still waiting on guidance from the Kansas League of Municipalities as to whether or not we can we can meet the statutory requirement for public hearings if we're still under a lockdown. So I know the statewide stay-at-home order is set to expire in a week or two. So we'll see what gets extended. Right now, we don't know. We do have some applications, and we will keep you all posted as we learn new information.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate all of your time this evening, and with that, no other further business. I will close the meeting at 6:41 p.m.
Okay.
Thank you.